Howdy folks. Hey, welcome back to Gifford Rope Walk. Wanted to do a quick update. I'm trying to get in the habit of doing this weekly. I was reviewing the last year, and a year ago we had a rope walk that we would only put up once or twice a year at a local pioneer village. Let the kids make jump ropes, and then about a year ago we were introduced to the Dragonstone Renaissance Fair just up the road, and we built a pavilion and we started making jump ropes there. And we branched out a bit to try to make ropes more acceptable for men and women. Of course, we don't always want to just jump rope, so we made the Scottish sashes, so you can make the ropes with your Scottish colors, represent your Scottish heritage. We also started making the troll crosses, and that way gals could wear those with their outfits and look cool with their ropes and their Scottish or their with their troll crosses. And then we saw there was a gap for games, so we started making games, and we just started selling those this year. And I started doing those with laser engravers. This is actually my second one. The first one I got was a We Create, and I'll show that to you here in just a moment. And then I got an Atom stack. This is an A10, just a 10-watt laser, and this is what I do for all of our games. We make our own bags. So this one's for the Daldos, this one here is for Fitchel, Glockhaus, and then this one here is for our 9-men's Morris. So you can see here, these are the different stages. I just ripped the canvas to the size we need, and then put it in and burn the symbols. And then I'll take it in and I use the sewing machine, and I sew the top flap for the rope to go through, and then sew the bag up. And then we spin our own cotton rope for our bags. So we've got this stage going, and then the We Create I use to cut the boards on. And like here's a test board. Was a Fitchel, but there was a little gap there in my board, so it didn't look so good. So I was using this as a test board in here to see if I could burn the same, and it's working pretty good. So now I've got two laser cutters cutting my own design. I got a stack of my blank bags here so that they can be marking those up. I've got a couple different projects going at all times. So this is where the bags are being created. We're excited about the games going on, and I'll show you those here in just a moment. Okay, second update is the yarn. So I'm gonna flip, and so I have yarn. There was a yarn sale going on, and I bought more yarn, and I've been spinning them on the cake maker and getting these cakes made. Those were the last of the discounted black with the speckled white, which is kind of cool. And then these ones here I bought from a retired weaver, and you can see that I've started caking those. So as I'm bored, I'll grab a skein and I'll just cake them. So I've got them all loaded up there. I'm missing, so I need more red, I need more black, because these are the only two I have. Those will go, and these are smaller. And then I need more blue. It's weird. You got to be careful with the yarn, because if you don't get them in the same batch, they're not always the same color. So this looks black, but it's like a really dark blue. When you put it next to the black, you can see that it's blue, but when you put it next to like a lighter blue, it gives it a black look. So these guys are kind of a blue green, and these are a lighter blue, but this royal blue is the blue I try to keep. I've got some of those over there, but I've grabbed two of them. I've got them to be spun. So the cake spinner is in full works. We're spinning yarn. This makes it so much easier when we go to make the ropes, because they come out of the center, and so the cake sits still, and we don't have to worry about when we pull the yarn out of the belly buttons on these guys. It doesn't take long where they'll pull up a loop and they'll just be in a knot. We end up spending half the time untangling knots, and the cakes seem to do a lot better. All right. Okay. All right. And so our next update is the weaving. You flip it around here. So I've got 3 inkle looms now. This one was the first one that was given to me. The pegs are a little bit off, so they kind of slides. Just got to be careful with that. This is the one that I made. And then there's another one that I'm loading up that I bought from someone that shipped it to me online. There's a lot of folks that have 3 or 4 looms just like I've got now, and I'm using them all now, but there are folks that have used them and they've got new looms. There's some great Facebook sites that have looms for sale. You can see I've got that loaded up. I'm just coming up on the second loop here. It's just a going. So I'll do this one, and if I get bored, then I'll swap over to this one. And you can see I'm about the same spot, getting ready to come around that second loom. I took a moment and I sanded all these pegs down, which I didn't do before, and so now they're really smooth. I was having really a lot of issues with this tensioner. I'd have to loosen it all the way up, slide my yarn, and I'd tighten it back up. Now that I've sanded them all, they're really smooth. I can actually shift it without messing with the tensioner. Keeps good tension on there. I tried to do flowers. It's not looking, so it's like it's supposed to be like red flowers with a yellow in the middle, right? And then a yellow flower with a black, red flower, and then black flowers. So that was my idea, and it kind of looks like it, but if I tell you they're flowers, then maybe you'll see the flowers. But I did finish the yellow and green one. If you've seen it, the other pictures that I've had in the past, this one was sitting on this loom, and I finished that one off so we could take it off and set up this one. We had a request for a tartan color, and I have not done a Scottish tartan belt before, and this was the first time doing this with the tablets. So this is a heddle, but this one was with the tablets to get the 4 color. So you have yellow, green, black, green. The only way to get multiple colors like that, unless you're doing pickup or some other fancy stuff. So I've got those 2. I got finished these 2, got 2 more in the works. So we've got belts going on. And then over here is a stack of boats that have been carved. The backs have been engraved. I need to take these to the router. They've been sanded, but we need to give it that nice, pretty cleanness. I need to route those still. But there's our stack of all the ones that have been engraved coming off of our We Create engraver. I'll move these looms here real quick. So there's the We Create, and I do enjoy this one. This was the first one. It's a little bit more expensive than the Atom Stack. This one is a 20 watt, and it has autofocus. It's got the plate. It's got the filter. So this has a lot of auto functions that work really well. The other one, you have to do a manual focus, and you have to, the outer case I bought separately. This one, I did buy an extra vent because that vent is just not strong enough to get out as much of the fumes when I'm burning the games. So they sell a little add-on here, and it goes out, and there's a little like a dryer vent flapper and a little air assist. So you get really good clean cuts on this thing. So this has been really good for the wood stuff, for the games, for dice. Been making our own dice for the Glockhouse. You can see here's a stack of Glockhouse games that we finished up. I think I've got another 8 or 9 there. Got some more heddles that we're burning and cutting out. So the belts are going great. This is the second cutter. I like them both. I'd recommend them both. The Atom Stack was a lot cheaper. This one has a little bit more functionality, but they both are doing pretty darn good. Okay, and the last update is, so I've got the red, the blue, and the black. And then here's my craft table that's got the spinner on it, the cake maker. And these are the tablets. So what I'll do is I got my sewing machine because I'm about to sew the table cover. And I was pinning it up. And the outside looks really good. But when I was pinning it, I noticed that the lighter color actually reflects the pattern better. So I'm actually going to sew it with the inside out because I think this dark makes it a little bit harder to see, and this lighter color pops a little bit better. So I'm getting ready to sew. When I'm sewing, I got the sewing machine here. When I don't, I put it down and I put a loom here. And of course, you got the remote there. I kick on the TV and do some spinning. I've got different shuttles that we're working on down here. So we have got a lot of projects going. We're really excited. We've got 2 away, 3. The next 3 weeks, we're going to be Indiana, Ohio, and Nebraska. And then starting at the end of August, we're going to be in Dragonstone Springs, having a blast. We'll have plenty of yarn for making ropes. We've got belts, we've got games, and we're gonna have fun. We hope the weather gets nice. It's a beautiful day today. If you guys are out and about and you're out checking out a Renaissance fair and you see Gifford Rope Walk, come by, say hi. So that is our update for today, and thanks for watching. We'll be glad to see you guys around.